Hi, I'm Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
We work at Pro R.E.A staffing and we help real estate assistants find jobs with real estate teams and brokers. And every week, Lauren does a little video for our Facebook and Insta accounts called Wrong Answer Wednesday, where she shares some kind of wacky thing a candidate did or said during their interview process. And we do this not to poke fun. We do it because we want to use these situations as teachable moments because our mission is to help as many people as possible find their dream job. So we have a lot of these examples and we thought maybe it's time that we hop on a video together and just share a little compilation of the best wrong answer Wednesdays. And that's what we're going to do today. So before we get started, I just want to remind you that we have an incredible job board filled with amazing opportunities in real estate. So after you watch the video, go to proreastaffing.com and check out our open jobs. Okay, you ready, Lauren? Ready to get into it?
Ready.
Okay, all right. So this is a pretty common question that you might ask a candidate. What caught your eye or why did you apply to this job? Now, what did a candidate say to you?
Yes. So the candidate said, I've applied for so many jobs. Can you tell me about it?
How'd that make you feel as a recruiter?
Well, we specifically ask in our email for you to have the job description right in front of you. And so we immediately know that you don't. And so it kind of feels like you're a little unprepared, which, isn't really a great feeling and not a good first impression.
Absolutely. Okay. So you asked an executive assistant, a candidate who was applying for a role as an executive assistant, what they were looking for in their next executive. And what did this person say?
They said that they would prefer that their executive be organized so that they don't have to manage their executive's calendar or details. And that was a little bit awkward because that's kind of the whole point of the role. When you are supporting someone, you're supposed to be managing things like their calendar, their email, their phone calls, and helping them kind of keep that stuff organized.
Right. It's a little hard to figure out how they're a fit for the role after they tell you they don't want to do any of the basic core responsibilities of the job. So that goes back to being prepared for the interview, right? And looking at what is the role, what are the expectations, and making sure that you're a fit for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So we ask candidates to complete a short skill assessment. It's like 5 questions long. And sometimes one of the questions we ask is we have them write a property description of a sample property. So a candidate wrote a beautiful property description. You sent the candidate on to the client, and then what happened?
The client let us know that the candidate actually copied and pasted one of his property descriptions that he had for one of his listings. So not only was it not original work, she tried to pass it off, and it was his, and he recognized it. And so, while at first he was very impressed because it sounded like something he would write, he then realized he actually did write it.
Yeah, it's not a good way to try to get the job by stealing your future boss's work product. So no bueno. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's talk. This happens more than once. So let's talk about candidates putting misleading information on their resume and how that shows up during the interview process.
Yeah. So, especially with a lot of the COVID-19 layoffs that happened last spring, we're finding that a lot of candidates have resumes that say that they're currently employed. And then it turns out that they've been laid off, like, let's say 8 months ago, for example. It's okay that people were laid off during COVID. A lot of people were, but it almost comes across as misleading when your resume says present and it's been that long. Like we're coming up on kind of the year mark where a lot of layoffs happened, and so it just it's not really an accurate representation of your work experience when you haven't been working for almost the last year.
Yeah, perfect. So another resume faux pas. Sometimes people are too honest on their resume. You have an example of this?
Yes. So we had a candidate who included in their description of their last job that they did their homework while they were at work. While I think we all would love an employer who doesn't mind if we do our own personal lives at work, it's really not appropriate and something that you kind of shouldn't be talking about. When you're talking about the description of your last job, that's for sure.
Right. focus on the skills that the tasks you completed that were work related, the skills that you gained, and the things that are transferable to your next opportunity. Right. Nobody wants to know that you're capable of doing your own homework at work. Okay. And then let's just talk about typos. What are some of the big, obvious, ugly typos you get sometimes?
Oh my gosh. So anything from I have worn many hats, like WARN, like a warning. So stuff like that, where it's a word that sounds similar to another word. And then probably one that we see really commonly and frequently is like a sentence where it has adjective written in big bold caps, as if they used some kind of resume builder and forgot to fill in an adjective that describes themselves. And so just, proofread your resume, have two other people read it as well. And so that way, when you read the same thing over and over again, your mind starts to kind of fill in the words, even though they're not there. So having another set of eyes on your resume will really help you avoid those mistakes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And then let's talk about people thinking that they're the exception to the rule and why that is a no-no.
Yes. So we, in a lot of our jobs, a lot of our clients prefer candidates who are not looking for a stepping stone into sales because they're not really interested in training or competition, right? And so we had a candidate recently who said, "Hey, I saw that this position isn't a stepping stone into sales, but what about if I want to sell in the next 6 to 9 months?" Well, at 6 months, you probably just kind of learned your role. It's not really an appropriate time to step into something new, especially when you already know that that's not a projected growth path for the position. So just kind of being mindful of the growth opportunities and not thinking that you are above that, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I hope you guys found this fun and lighthearted. Again, we're not trying to poke fun at anybody, but these are some of the things that we see as recruiters that stop really great, wonderful people from getting to move forward in the interview process. And like I said, we want everyone to find a great job. So hopefully this helps. But before we wrap up, I wanted Lauren to share some of the things that top candidates do to stand out and really shine during their interview process so that you can emulate these examples. Go for it, Lauren.
Yeah, definitely. So first and foremost, just be prepared for your interview. This means being able to reference the job ad, so having it up on a computer screen or phone screen in front of you so that you know the responsibilities and what the job is. And then also your interview time. So be prepared, make sure you answer the phone. Please don't be at your current employer and put us on a brief hold while you step out, all of those things. And then follow our instructions that we give you. So, when we ask you to submit a work sample for us to share with our clients, please make sure that it's your original work, that it's something that you prepared and something that you're allowed to share with us. And then definitely speak clearly and confidently. We have had candidates who have had 23 or ums in a single response. It's okay if you need a minute to think about what you'd like to say, but definitely take time to slow down, think, and don't try to come up with a response as you're talking. And then lastly, I would say to demonstrate enthusiasm for the role, apply for jobs that you're excited about and interested in, and then let that come across to us. So research the client, research the job, and make sure that it's something that you're really interested in pursuing.
Yeah, and I just want to underline that because employers want to hire somebody who is excited to work for them. And we're really excited to connect people who really feel like this job is for them. So if you're excited, let your personality shine through. Let us know. Be enthusiastic in your follow-up thank you email or letter to the person you interview with. It really does matter. And then going back to speaking clearly and confidently, if you haven't been interviewed on video and then watched yourself, and I know, yes, it's uncomfortable, but it is so valuable to see how many ums or likes or you fit into a sentence, or how you use your hands, or whether you wiggle in your chair. We often do things that we don't realize that we do that you will learn about when you watch yourself on video. So if you can hop on a Zoom call with a friend and just practice, or we even have, I'll put a link in the description below. We have a like a consultation package where we help people prepare for interviews. Maybe that's a good option for you as well. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We post new content like this all the time, and we'd love to share it with you. And hey, have you ever interviewed anybody and received a really awkward response? We'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments below, or if you have a question about how you should have responded to a question, put it in the comments below and I will respond. And hey, don't forget to go to proreastaffing.com and check out our open jobs. We can't wait to meet you. Bye.
Bye.